So we're going to talk about one of those today, which, believe it or not, the easiest thing to accomplish is the earning side. The freedom's the harder part. Maybe we'll do a part 2 later discussing the freedom side of it. So what do you want to learn today? What are you hoping to take away? Be real specific, have fun, be serious, whatever it is. There's one thing you want to walk away with knowing today. What is it?
I want to know how did that guy making $1 million walking his dog?
How to make $1 million walking a dog.
I'll get a job. Just think I'll get a job.
Okay, so 1 million for dog walking. Okay, I think we can cover that. What else would you like to learn today?
1 million happy hour.
1 million at happy hour. Notice we said happy hour. We did not say $1 million drinking. That is a completely different situation. All right. What else do you want to learn?
Mindset to get to the $1 million.
Mindset and consistency. Thank you, Catherine. Spoken like somebody who coaches people. What else we got?
Balance getting
What's that?
there. Work-life balance getting there.
Work life getting there. Awesome. So how many have been through 6 personal perspectives? You've been through it. You've been through it. You've been through it. Regarding work-life balance, what do you learn in 6 personal perspectives? It's an illusion. It doesn't exist. So if you want to know more about that, by the way, in January, 6 personal perspectives is being taught here. I don't know who the teacher is. I don't know the date. I just know it's being taught. Be there. It is the best, the single best mindset course that Keller Williams offers. That will be here at the Market Center. You will want to leave somewhere, which is life-changing to say the least. So, all right. So I think we can cover those. We'll cover a few more things too. All right. So first off, Meg Day, an agent in Chicago, realized a few things. First, you realize is really not that hard. Does anyone struggle with, man, this is hard, this business is just crazy? You figure out it's really not that hard. She comes from the legal profession. So we're going to talk a little bit about her story here shortly. So we're going to cover 4 simple strategies to accomplish this, to make $1 million dog walking. We got some strategies on that. We got strategies on how to build happy hours to make $1 million. And really, it's not about saying, hey, I want to go walk dogs. That wasn't how this agent did it. The other agent, I trust me, she's not an alcoholic. She saw an opportunity here. So what we're going to talk about is how to find those opportunities, okay? And how to put those strategies together. And this stopped working.
Oh, sorry, it's probably my fault.
It probably is.
What's the, thing, this right here? Use the mouse.
I don't want to use that. I got a really fancy clicker with
I
the laser.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't start.
Okay, there we go. I think we got it working again. So first thing, what does MREA mean? Okay. It does. It comes straight from a book. Who has not read the book? Don't be embarrassed.
Not ready yet.
Okay, awesome. So Doreen,
Yeah. Who doesn't have a, yeah, I have a copy of it.
if we're going to have conversations between now and mid-January,
Yes.
you're going to be digging deeply into that book. Okay. What's that?
The share the copy of it, or what?
No. Do you have a copy?
Where did you get a copy?
I'm done. Okay.
Erica, please.
Nothing but.
If you don't have a copy of the book, see Erica, see Nikki. All right. So millionaire real estate agent. Yes,
I know,
it,
right?
it stands for an agent that makes $1 million. Guess what? Come to me more than that. It's not an income. It's a mindset. I mean, who's felt like $1 million on a bundle budget? We all have. Okay, so MREA is a mindset. So let's start with that. This class is going to show you real examples of people who are doing extremely well doing things they love. That's the mindset that we want to get across to you today, okay? So let's see, we're on slide 3. Now we're on what we're going to cover, right? Oh, this one's ahead of time. Okay, case studies. Finding your ideal client. What's your ideal client look like? Cash buyer, awesome. This is interactive, guys.
Okay.
What's your ideal client?
Somebody that is logical and can understand reason.
Okay.
I know that's not from the book here, but
You know what I'm hearing from these two? Very market dependent. I mean, cash buyer. Why? Because in order to get through the last couple of years, you had to finance buyer, chances are you were going to write 14 contracts before you got through. Logical. Again, the market that we're in now, a shifting market. It's much easier to deal with somebody who is a C type, thinking numbers and non-emotional. Okay. I'm going to challenge you to think really hard about who your ideal client is today. We're going to have a little exercise about that. We're going to talk about going really small. Really small. How many people do you need in your database to make $1 million? Write your numbers down. Let's fine tune it a little more. How many people do you need to know really, really well? You know their names, their family names, their birthdays, anniversaries, kids, all that sort of stuff. How many people do you need in your database to make $1 million? Next question that I want you to answer is how many are in your database? So who wrote down some numbers that's willing to share? See?
So I think it's around 2,000 has to be it.
Okay, you say 2,000 in your database, okay?
To make $1 million. No, it's not in my database,
To
but
make $1 million, okay. And how many of those do you need to know really intimately of those 2,000?
I would say 500.
Okay. You're gonna be very surprised when you hear the answer.
I'd say 500 inbound, no 25 of them involved.
Okay, awesome. You guys to remember those answers as we get a little farther down the road. We're gonna talk about how to connect with each one of these people strategically. Matt, can I share a conversation you and I had a couple weeks ago? Okay. Matt has a goal to get into Keller Williams Luxury. And when we were talking about that, there's a number of ways of doing that. What we realized in the conversation is we already know people that have property that would qualify him to earn that designation. And those people know people that will help him qualify to earn that designation. It's a lot easier to go to the field that you've already planted than it is to go make a new one, right? You got the acreage, let's use it. So we're going to talk about connecting strategically. And then after we come up with that number of people you need, we'll teach you how to go deep. How do you cultivate it, fertilize it, watch it grow. And then all of a sudden, you've got this really cool farm of low-hanging fruit. Now, those of us that have been around for a while, we always want the low-hanging fruit. I cut my teeth calling expireds. Why? Not because they love me. And they say, oh, Jon, I'm so glad you called today. No, they're low-hanging fruit. And you know what? Who's ever had a pear tree or an apple tree in your yard growing up? Okay, what happens when the fruit falls? It gathers some insects, right? What's it gather? Yellow jackets, bees. That's kind of the mentality of expireds. They're really not happy to be taking your call. So if I could do it all over, I would much rather start my conversation off with somebody who actually wanted to talk to me than an angry hornet. And then lastly, we're going to talk consistency. That happened to be up here, mindset and consistency. That's the key to everything in this business is consistency. So we're going to show you what these 5 agents have done. All right, so I need someone to read. Go ahead, Karen.
When you want to be absolute best chance to succeed at anything, your approach should always be the same, go small.
What do you think that means?
I think it's simple things that really matter.
Okay, simple things really matter. Karen, you,
For example, you know, sometimes we think that we need to talk to 2,000 people, but if our goal is to have 5 quality conversations a day,
okay,
which is not that a lot,
it's not a lot at all.
that could really grow up.
Okay. Who's ever shot a gun before? I knew you have. If you want to shoot something 100 yards away,
We give the gun to Karen.
if your target's 100 yards away, you're not going to use a shotgun. You're not going to use a BB gun. You might use a 22 if you've got a really good 22 Magnum. You're not going to use a 44 pistol because that's just not going to go anywhere. You're likely to use a rifle with a scope to assure that you're going to be able to put that hole, hit that target right in the middle. And you repeat it over and over again by using the same focus. So that's what they're talking about, going small. You don't need a wide fishing net, a wide cast net. You just need the right lure, the right weapon, whatever the case is, right? So let's talk a little bit about Meg today. She had an epiphany at family reunion in 2020. It was really interesting. She was a solo agent, formerly in the legal profession. In 2019, she closed 30 units. She's sitting at family reunion. Who knows what time of year family reunion is? February. What time of the year is February in real estate terms? April, right? It's always 3 months, 4 months down the road. So she's sitting there in February, and 2020 production looked like this. 0. She just come off of a year selling 30 units, and 1/3 of the way through the year, she hadn't sold anything. So how would you feel if you had sold 30 transactions 1 year and the next year you're 4 months into the year without a sale? Frustrated. Frustrated. What else? Embarrassed. Sad. You're like, oh God, my banker's calling me. You know, dipping into savings, have exhausted all your savings, whatever the case may be. So she started looking at what to do. And she's sitting out in the crowd with the rest of us at family reunion. What can I do? Simon Sinek. Dee, would you read that?
What?
Would you read that quote for me? The Simon Sinek quote?
Instead of trying to reach everyone, we should seek to reach the smallest viable audience and delight them so thoughtfully and fully that they tell others. Oh.
So you're going to learn that, and I'm sorry, I know you're in the office right next to you. Forget your name. Nick, thank you, Nick. Nick was really close on the number of people it takes in that inner circle to be able to hit the $1 million. Really close. So Meg found and focused on her USP, unique selling proposition. If you don't know what makes you different, ask yourself this. For a buyer or a seller who's looking for somebody different, they all are. Is that a fair assessment? Why choose you? Why choose me? What makes you different? And it's not having a fancy app. It's not having all these massive reviews. The beauty of it is what makes you different is you. Now you need to learn how to be able to share that with people just like you. So Meg found her USP, and between February at family reunion and the close of the year, she went from nothing to being the #1 single agent in the Chicago region. Would you like to know what she did? Oh, by the way, she was #1 again in 2021 with 50 units. So what's the minimum number that it takes? For Meg, it was 30. See, what she found is she was really good talking to single mothers with high pressure careers. She was just really good at it, and she came from one. She's like, this is really interesting. I found that people that are just like me have the same questions, the same concerns that I have. So what did she start doing? She started small. So in SHIFT tells us capture, connect, cultivate, close, the 4 C's, right? Capture, connect, cultivate, close. How do you capture them all? So for some reason, I'm looking at there and I have, I don't even remember why I put that next picture. This is gonna be fun. Oh, I remember why. Let's go back one. We'll go, that's my dog. Let's go back and say it's an old picture because Zeus is like a little tiny thing in that picture. Now he's like 80 pounds and he's not even close to done growing. So what Meg did is she created a monthly networking group of the same people. The industries that she knew, the clients that she understood. Now, I've never been a single mother. I would not qualify for that group because I don't get it. I don't have those challenges. Geo in my office, absolutely. All right, she would find that a very interesting niche. She found was they all have the same struggle. How do you serve them? So she built out 30 people. That 30 people alone was over $500,000 in income, just from that group. Working and talking with the people that she really likes, because they connected on a different level, an emotional level. So why do people do business with you, by the way? They know you, they like you, they trust you. It's not because you drive the coolest car, not because you're the smartest, none of that. Not because you get the flashiest ads. They know, like, and trust you. That's why they do business with you multiple times. They might do business with you once because they're caught in the, man, this is cool, right? So yeah, let's talk dogs. Why would I, and yes, this is Chloe. Chloe is 12 years old. Gotta share a little bit of story about that. She's a Maltese Schnauzer and she thinks she owns the house. Zeus in this picture, he still is a Rhodesian Ridgeback, but he's only 2.5 months old at this point. Now, Zeus' shoulders are here. And he will be about here in a couple more months. Chloe no longer rules. And actually neither does Zeus. We have another dog that we had to get, Sky. This is in between before we got Sky. Because Zeus kept tearing poor Chloe apart. Big dogs play big. Little dogs who are great grandmothers like, man, I'm done with this. No, back off. So we had to get another one. And here's what this all says. Dogs are important to people who own them, right? How many dog owners here? Yeah, right. You do anything for your dog, right? So, talk Kathy already. Kathy's right in Miami, by the way. What are some of the stats that stand out there? Yeah, it's not bad, huh? When did she get her license? 2014. She loves dogs. So she went to the dog park. Go ahead, Catherine.
Do you remember what her income was for 2020 before she got to 921?
No. What was it?
200.
That's the old hockey stick. That's the old hockey stick, right? Nothing, nothing, nothing until everything just takes off. So she's purposeful about the dogs. What do you think she did when she went to the dog park? What was it? What did the conversation sound like? Tell me the dog's name. What's your dog's birthday? Write it down. What's their favorite treat? Write it down. Starts going to the dog park. He's got a database of dogs. Doesn't even know the people's names. Just a database of dogs. Then shows up with the dog's favorite treat. What would you think if someone shows up at the dog park? They don't even know your name, but all of a sudden they figured out your dog's birthday and they get your dog's favorite treat.
They would be my best friend.
They'd be your best friend, right? Then the database starts building and she's getting these people's names and numbers.
And you know what else? If I may,
This is interactive to you anytime you want.
if I take it apart and Kathy here brought favorite treats for my dogs,
Mhm.
you know what I would do? I would tell you all.
Mhm.
Oh my God, this girl made my day. Do you know that? I told her that my little Luna likes little carrots, and she brought little carrots with her information.
Mhm.
I would tell everybody about it. I would.
So let's do a little activity, all right? We talked about favorite clients earlier. Grab a piece of paper, something to write with. Write down the name of your favorite client. We're gonna take some time on this, so write down, think back. If you've had one client, it's really easy. If you haven't had any client, write down the person who you think will be your favorite client.
I have a lot of shoe
What's that?
I have a lot of paper. Me too.
I don't know. This is like priorities. And like the Matrix. And like the Highlander, there can be only one. All right. Little cloud reference there in case you guys missed it.
I got it.
Awesome. So you got your favorite client, right? What made them your favorite client? You got their name. Why were they your favorite? Do you know how old they are? Awesome. Write it down. Are they married? If married, what's their spouse's name? When's their birthday? Doreen's on top of this. This is good. She's writing down every one of them, and I'm not seeing NA across it, so. What did they do, or what do they do for work? How much did they earn? Now we're really going to see how deeply these relationships have gotten. How much did they earn? How did you first meet? By the way, why is still a whole bunch more questions. Why do you think this is important?
What did you know our friends?
Okay. How well that's a byproduct of this. Okay. If you know all of this about your client,
What did you do with it?
do you think they know people that did the same profile? Only small, right? Where do they shop?
You mean as far as grocery store, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, whatever you want. Where do they shop?
Let's see.
Do they shop at Tractor Supply or do they shop at Gucci?
Neither.
Either answer is fine. Right? This is your favorite client.
Why not connect with Gucci?
No, I would expect that. Or Jimmy Choo or Bernal Blanc, but that's. What do they value? I can tell you my top client values animals. Before he even bought his house here in Naples, he called me up and asked if the Humane Society was a non-kill shelter. And I said, it is a non-kill shelter. Why? He says, all right, put them in. Like, who, what? He says, I'm sitting here with my attorney. We're just giving money away. Learn what they value. That client has been worth over $25 million in sales in 2 years. Learn what they value. What do they do for fun? This particular guy's case, what he does for fun is bust my chops all day long because we are now business partners on a few things. He loves to point out my mistakes. What's their biggest struggle? That's okay. It might be something you want to find out. And lastly, what did you like best about working with them? Now, when you read all of that over, what would it look like if every one of your clients did that profile? How would your life?
Easy.
How many clients like that do you need to be able to go home at the end of the day and say, man, whew, hit the easy button, that was easy.
How
Right?
much goes into 25 then?
Yeah, I mean, for Meg, it was 30. That was it. So now let's learn how to connect strategically with them. Yeah, no, I wrote this, I still have to read my own notes. So Kathy and Meg both had a passion, right? Kathy's passion thought. Meg's passion was working with single mothers, high performing, high D type professionals. What about Mark? Mark's also from Chicago, okay? Mark's story is a little interesting. Mark found that his passion was helping transitional life from parents that were moving from living autonomously to moving into assisted living facilities. And the children that had to learn to have conversations with the parents about how to make that happen. It came through his own experience. In 2008, he had to go through this with his family and put them in assisted living. And he learned not many people really were there to be able to help me through, to help me understand what's going on. He found through this a massive, massive opportunity. So what has he done? Well, he created a business-to-business farm. Now, if you're gonna have a business-to-business farm, how many hours a day do you have to put that together? Well, in that business farm, who do you think is gonna be working with?
Nursing, assisted living,
Financial planners, attorneys, accountants. When's the last time your accountant answered the phone at 5:02? When's the last time your attorney picked up the phone at 6:37 in the evening when he's having dinner with his wife? Do you think this helped Mark create a lifestyle that he wanted? We're all involved, business objective, life by design, right? Do you think this helped him design the life that he wanted when all of his clients work 9 to 5? How cool is that? So he builds this farm. He's become the expert by meeting with these guys and gals a couple times a month. He's become the expert on transition planning and now is brought into assisted living facilities to teach families how to do this. Think about that. What kind of value is there in that? Do we have any assisted living facilities here in Naples?
1 or 2?
1 or 2,000. Great opportunity, right? By the way, any of these agents you should be reaching out to if you have a similar passion. Because guess what? There's people in Chicago that want to go to an assisted living facility in Naples, not in Chicago. I haven't met anyone that wants to leave Naples to go to Chicago. Seeing as my wife's family is from there, I can throw that joke out. So, downsizing seminars. What do you think a downsizing seminar is?
How to get rid of your stuff, where to go, you know, I mean, I have a company that does that, so I
Okay.
would be one of those business related.
So here's an idea for you on that. Most of the people, when they're thinking that the state sales specialists, okay, parents passed away, we have to sell everything. What if you were to be proactive in this situation and you teach the family how to sell everything beforehand so the parents can actually enjoy what they just sold? Just a thought. And I can tell you, my parents were in their mid-70s. We're having conversations like this. I didn't get the disposition of assets side of our family. I got the pull the plug. My brother got the disposition of assets. So these are conversations that people are not going to be comfortable having. And you know what? They're really not uncomfortable conversations. Sorry, we take that first step. Like we're in a marathon. Part of running a marathon is putting your secret on. You made a decision to do it, right? So let's think about how you can create a focused group of people to build 30 or 40 raving fans. I'm gonna throw out some organizational names and you guys raise your hand if you've been to, ever, belong to, or have heard of anything on this list. Alumni. Church. Divorce support groups. Oh, come on. Thank you, Matt. Oh, you guys are all lying. You didn't think those existed. Dog owners. Downsizing. Estate sales. Families from school, whether it's parent, teacher, or anything like that. All right. Anyone heard of first-time buyers?
Yeah.
Heard the term geographic farming? What neighborhood do you want to be in? Shout it out.
My firm is in Sherwood,
Okay. Do you spend time physically talking to the people in Sherwood?
yes.
Awesome. and it worked, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And many Wisconsin citizens.
We don't have a lot of the next topic here in Southwest Florida, but historic homes. You were in one in Jacksonville, remember, right? Okay. Military,
There she is.
guess what? People in the military retired to Southwest Florida. Everybody retired to Southwest Florida. New construction. Relocation. Sports and entertainment. How about a specific profession? What's a specific profession that you know people in, that you have friends in?
Physicians or sheriffs.
Sheriff? Go right with the military, that's good. Well, yeah, so public service, police, okay, we all have friends that have jobs. What are those jobs? Which ones most interest you? This is the closest thing to the little magic pill you're gonna get in this business, by the way, guys, outside of spending 30 or 40% of your income to have somebody else in your job for you. Sororities, fraternities, charities. Sustainability, this one I love, we're gonna get into this in a couple slides. Upsizers, those are just some of the things that, yeah, what's an upsizer, by the way? Anyone?
One going from a condo to maybe a coach home. or a
Yeah.
home.
Does anybody know an obstetrician?
Not anymore.
Guess what? Obstetricians know people that need to move. Find a niche. What do you love to do? If you didn't have to work, write this down and ask for some people to volunteer help. If you didn't have to work, what would you be doing right now? Was that
Play ball.
playing golf? Okay. Guess what? That's that would fall under sports, right? What else we got?
The gym,
Fishing,
gym.
gym, okay. Karen,
Shopping.
shopping, okay.
Do I remember in the phrase?
So is there anything that was mentioned or that you guys wrote down, I think you're the only person who likes to do it? Why not become an expert at things you like to do? And leverage it. Yes,
There's a really important classes that are coming up, and I think it starts in January, that Dusty is going to be leading for us.
I thought Dusty was in October.
No, Dusty is coming to Bold.
Is he in January here?
And the reason why,
Okay, she's supposed to be here backing this up.
I know, so the reason why I'm saying that is I'm listening, what you're saying in all these different areas of.
Yeah, there's like 15 pages of things like that in the bold menu.
And there, within the Bold book, there's, I think it's 150 that you can fill out who you know in that occupation.
Mhm.
So that it makes it really easy for you to look at, to select, okay, which is my, pick your favorite 5.
Yeah, and I was gonna tell you, you don't have to fill them all out. You just pick out the ones you like.
Pick out the ones you really like and write them in.
I happen to like orthopedics. Not because orthopedic surgeons are the most humble people on the planet. But I've had an opportunity to meet way too many of them from the inside out, so. 4 shoulder surgeries, foot surgery, neck surgery, all sorts of wonderful things from getting hit by cars and spending too much time in the gym. So I'm not saying don't go to the gym, just don't do it the way I did. There are healthy ways of doing it anyhow. So find a group of people that you can connect with. And for me, I said, okay, let's find people that used to like to golf and used to like to go fishing. That had shoulders replaced. What do they do now? There's a little niche market. Think, write stuff down, read it over, then keep writing stuff down because you will develop areas, man. This is really cool. I just want to work with this. And when that is like 7 levels deeper than anyone else has ever thought, guess how much competition you're gonna have? None. Because most people don't even put the effort for that first level. Right? Everybody wants that low hanging fruit. They're not willing to put the time in to get the low hanging fruit. So let's go deep. So Ryan Vizda. Ryan is from Concord, New Hampshire. former art teacher, and farmer. What's her GCI? That's pretty good for less than 7 years, isn't it? What's that? She's over 40%. I know this because her husband's a maps coach. So does not coach her.
Is this with a team though, or just as a solo location?
No, she's got a team, but that's, yeah. But her net is over 40% of that. She spends her time doing things like, her leisure time, doing things like surfing, zip lining, kayaking class 5 rapids through the Rockies and British Columbia, and really crazy adventure stuff like that. Here's the thing, this is the reason why I put sustainability on there. She is a huge advocate for sustainable food. Comes from her farming background. She got involved with the community from it. She wrote educational seminars on the topic and now teaches it all through New Hampshire on how to grow your own food. Has nothing to do with real estate, except the fact that if you wanted to say, I've got a 1/4 acre of land, I have enough land to realistically grow all the food I need for a family of 4 per year. She can teach you that. The only mention of real estate she has. So you don't have to be in front of these people talking about real estate. You're in front of them talking about what you love. What you love is what makes you uniquely you. So how do you set yourself up as the expert? Gary says you want to be hyper-focused, be the economist of choice. So how do you establish yourself as the expert? What are some of the things you can do?
Have some first.
Seminars, okay, great. Seminars consistently. Guess what? One and done, don't do it. Be consistent. What else can you do? You can write. Okay, you can blog, you can write a book, whatever you can write. Okay.
Social media.
Social media. Anybody play pickleball?
Start picking up recently, it's fun.
Nice. Like tennis meets ping pong.
It's like ping pong, like you're on the table. Essentially, it's getting on the table.
What sort of community organizations do you appreciate? For me, it's Rotary, you can get my Rotary pen. So what community organizations do you appreciate? What do they do that you align with? How can you get involved in that? And not just get involved, you're a committee. Get a position of leadership for something you like to do. Well, we talked about golf, we can throw tennis in there. I'll just for an idea. You're at the dog park. And no, I don't think Kathy Heidi's done this. But you know, where it's Christmas time, right? Well, doggy pictures with Santa. Yep. Well, what if you organized it? You did? Awesome. Awesome. Love that. She's watching what she's doing. That's awesome. Doggy pictures with Santa. Music classes. Anyone who enjoy music? What do you play?
Oh, I don't think it's
You okay? You play your voice.
my voice.
Okay. Perfect. We won't put you on the spot. So you're not a cappella. So
I'm not.
okay. Okay. So she was not in pitch perfect.
I was not. I was not. I can't act either, so.
Get involved. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about music classes for a second. Traditionally, what's the demographics of the family that has their kids in vocal lessons, violin lessons, piano lessons? What's the demographic? Does that put you in front of the people you want to be in front of? Okay. I singled Matt out because he gave me permission earlier. That puts him in front of the people he wants to be in front of. So what do they do? What do their families do? Consistently. They say jet skiing is not going to be consistent because they're not going to be out there every day or 3 times a week. They will be at the ice rink. My son plays hockey, and they're 5 days a week minimum.
John, I have one, good one. We had, a new agent on the team that she joined the bingo.
Okay.
And I mean, in young twenties, everybody else was like 60 and up at their table. But it was at their table was, I think she said 17 of the people, and I might be so wrong off, if I remember, correctly. But throughout like a span of a year, the house to absolutely everybody on our table except for 2 people. To everybody, because these were elder people
Mhm.
and they did not have an agent,
Mhm.
best friend or,
They weren't in relationship.
they weren't in it, they saw them every single week at the same table, having jokes, fun, talking, but also that age. They were the only young ones,
Mhm.
and I think those people, they just didn't have that age.
So interesting thing. How many people, whether you are a grandparent or you've had grandparents, you realize that grandparents want to help out, not their kids' generation. They want to go deeper than that. That's why I love this story, because those people at the bingo hall would sooner do business with a 22-year-old than they would with a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old. Why? They know enough that a 22-year-old's not gonna get in trouble. They'll be able to help them along, they'll be able to pass some of their knowledge along, and they're going to help somebody else get a start. But guess what? At some point, like, somebody gave them that same word. Love that.
And what else? They saw her every single week. The first time she helped the first one, now it comes, they know her, they like her, now they all trust her. Because the first one came back with her reviews,
It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And by the way, my favorite client would fall into that. He's almost a few years younger than what my grandparents would be. Kind of halfway between my parents and my grandparents. That's how this guy is. Everybody that's in his life that he's allowed into that circle gets treated that way. It's absurd. I'm very thankful for it, and at the same time, it all started with doing the right thing and developing a relationship.
That's what it's all
Getting-
about.
That's what it's all about, right?
Building a relationship.
Here's one of my personal favorites, cooking and mixology. What if you were to align with a local bar? A new bar that's just opening up. Say, hey, I want to do classes on how to make drinks. Can I rent a bartender? Do it at my house, so we're not taking away from your tabletops. Just a thought. Mani pedis. Guess what? Ladies know this. And if I'm way off base, you tell me. You guys go and you get your nails done pretty much on a schedule, and if you look around, 50% of the people are the same 50% every time. Right? Is this helping you guys think a little bit differently about when you step out here, what you're looking at, and opportunities that are in front of you when you realize? Vendors. Choose your vendors that align with you personally. Choose your vendors that support the military, the sheriff's department, and the police, and vendors that are into music, vendors that are into dogs, whatever you're into, find vendors that do the same thing. That's only leveraging your passion a step further. And be consistent. So Jenny Hill is the queen of consistency. That's what I call it. She doesn't know it. I christened her with that name. Her thing is geographic farming and happy hour. And here's the story with the happy hour, okay? The area that she chose, there was a real estate agent that used to do all of these happy hours, ladies' nights, once a month. And like most agents, oh, this is working. I'm gonna go find something that doesn't work and make it work and stop doing this. So she saw an opportunity. She said, man, what happens if I start this once a month ladies' night back up? And how can I elevate it? What can I do to bring more value to the ladies' night? That's where her vendors came in. And the vendors would bring something of value, and not a koozie, but maybe a gift card to a restaurant, maybe a mani-pedi card or something that would be raffled off, something like that. They just sat around having drinks. Jenny got all the credit, she's the one that organized it. Vendors did all the time. It was Jenny's show. Pretty cool. In fact, it got so popular, the husbands got pissed off. And she had to start doing a men's night. So now she's got 2 happy hours a month just for this neighborhood. Does anyone like that cocktail? I'm not the only one. Go on, you guys are shy. I know you guys are all lying on that one. So how can you connect with a group that's geographically constrained, like a neighborhood? How can you connect with them?
So we're doing a monthly get together in our community starting this weekend, so.
Okay.
I'll put that together. I don't know how it's gonna turn out,
All right,
but I mean, this is the first one, so we'll see how it goes.
okay. Well, the first one leads to the second one.
Correct.
First one does not lead to only the first one,
Correct.
okay?
So I have an idea, I did this up in Boston because I had a contact for the gar shop owner, who we do know, somebody here.
Mm-hmm.
Mutual friend, we
Yep.
did that. For somebody who's doing a men's night. It's huge.
So if you like cigars and you want to combine that with a mixology night, you just go down to the full cigar shop down here at Golden Gate 41, and you talk to John Billy, and
Yeah,
he'll say, yeah,
yeah, people.
it's not hard. Just takes putting that sneaker on.
Hmm.
So,
There's people who say people are having events in their community.
well, let's
That's a great, I mean, that's.
be consistent at it. You know what? He'll help out. He'll sponsor it. You know, nothing or next to nothing cigars, because it gets people in his shop, benefits him too. So MREA, most of us have read it. The rest of us will. Talks about how many touches you need to have in a year with a person in order to be able to keep in a solid enough relationship that they will remember you and care about you when it's time for them to do business. How many touches is that?
36.
36. 36 touch. Now, Jenny is plus a little bit. This is how often she reaches out to people every year. Does that does that seem daunting?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what intensity of the touch.
Well, I'm gonna stand in the back so I can read it on the screen with you guys at the same time. All right. So let's add this up together. Weekly emails, right? There's 52 touches, monthly postcards. That puts us at what, 64? Quarterly newsletters. That puts us at 68, we're still a bunch short. By the way, how much time does it take her to do this?
We're spending that.
No.
We got a tool that does it for you.
Smart plan.
That's it.
No.
It takes you planning it out at the beginning of the year. Say, okay, here's my weekly emails for 2023. Some of them you're going to do on the fly, like your client stories or a flyer lead. You mark it up, and Jeff does stories every month. You just send that out. It's not hard.
Pre-populate all your holiday
Yeah.
notes ahead.
He does 5 events, 6 touches each. 4 weeks prior. Save the date. Don't forget. Party coming up. 3 weeks prior. Text invite. By the way, in the text invite is, don't forget to download my app if you don't have it yet. 2 weeks before, email invite, 24 hours, reminder text. Then the event happens 2 days afterwards, thank you or missed you email, depending on whether they showed up. And here's the most effective of all. 10 days after, here's a thank you note. And elaborate all the photos that were taken at the event and each person tagged it. What kind of effect does that have on somebody's mindset? What does it show the people that are receiving that about you? What does it tell them?
You're thinking about them, you're thoughtful.
You care?
And you always top of mind, but it's,
Um,
How many other agents, do something half of this?
Sure. What is?
If you do
Not,
you do half of it.
half of it, that's only probably 10 to 15% of the agents do half.
If that,
If that.
don't forget, 20% of the agents do 90% of the business. So I would say you're probably at 5% of the agents, if that, do half of this. Okay. So there's a lot of opportunity, if only 5% are doing it, there's a huge amount of opportunity there. So what events could you do during the year? She does 5 different events. What events would you guys do?
You could do like on maybe seminar, you could
You
do
want face to face, face to face.
face.
Think reverse polls.
Sorry.
What would you do?
You do like a cruise, sightseeing cruise. You
Okay.
could Do,
Let's not get that expensive.
oh, okay.
This is your money. I know your friends like you, but if you were to do 5.
Oh, okay.
Princess, your net would be not. You'd still be poor.
But if you, but if you concentrate to one for your clients and, get your vendors on board.
I've got ideas I'm gonna share with you guys. I wanna see what you guys have though.
So why, if you're gonna do a reverse bulk 100, you could get somebody to donate, which has been done, a Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
But Peloton actually did not work as well as,
Some of them.
yeah.
I know somebody up in Boston who did a Peloton and he got over 50 transactions.
From a Peloton. So,
And that's what-
Literally, we're right on the time, you use-
So you can.
so
Having something large, not small, not $600 Dunkin' Donuts card, that's not gonna do it. But something larger that can
Well,
be donated by
yes.
the vendor.
yes, and let me share with you now, some people would think that our team has done wonderful things and some like, you guys don't do much, but last year we sold 365 homes. I think that's a pretty good number. Here's what we did. Pie day.
Right.
Pies about $50 each. We gave away 500 pies, generated $40 million in potential business. Boom. Breakfast with Santa. 150 kids under 7 came to see Santa Claus this year.
Did you find Santa?
We've got an address. There's one North Pole place.
Some kid now.
We book Santa every year. We have an Easter egg hunt every year.
Also, we have brokerage job.
Yeah. There's plenty of people that are throwing a Santa suit. This guy just happens to have a really long white beard and he's about 75 pounds overweight. He looks like Santa.
But
So-
brokerage job, it was funny, I went to the, WCR, I went to the WCR and I said, "Hey."
Mhm.
And I went. It's talking to me, then I say, what? This is brokerage job.
So Easter egg hunt. By the way, 3 events. Kids love all 3 of them. Kids love pie, they love Santa, they love Easter eggs. It's all about who you want to do business with. Movie night.
That's a good one.
So I see kind of a family style theme going here on the marketing. So I guess, like you said, we're looking, when you're going deep into your selected ideal clients, what are they looking for?
Right.
So my clients may be, if they're all like Romanian, Canadians, what holiday is important to them? What kind of messaging is talking to them?
You should,
That's where my events would be better.
you should be spending time with the sarcasms. Maybe most likely to be something else. That is close to true. Yes, my daughter there, my wife's a Sunday school teacher there. I'm not Greek, so I get nothing. But anyway, so now here's the fun one. We happen to get really fortunate this year and we got the holy grail of giveaways. So we have 2 tickets on April 13th to Raymond James Stadium.
Oh,
Who knows who's gonna be in Raymond James Stadium on
I
April
don't
13th?
say a word.
Is it Taylor Swift?
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, luxury suite. Fully catered, open bar. Do you think that is going to generate?
Oh,
A
yeah.
few people say, good God, it was a $10,000 per seat tickets. I agree with that. That's gonna generate, every now and then, you just come up with, holy crap, how did I get that? You don't ask questions, you just do it. We gave away football tickets to the Bucks all year round. Then they keep saying, does the Bucks suck? They do, and it worked. USF tickets. You know, so think about it, start small, you're not gonna go out and buy seats to every single event that Rainy Stadium or Barbary Man or artist, you're not gonna do that. Yeah,
Bring training fitness for the Red Sox in Naples.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
just go buy 4 or 5 games to the Red Sox and raffle off tickets, give them away to anyone. Just click on this, give me your name, address, phone number. And we're gonna, and give you tickets to the game. Building your database, and guess what? Doing something you like, people that common interest are gonna be the ones who care. So,
Go now into details, I think what is the most important is to speak to what you like, your clients would like, that's one thing. Another one, it's not even as important what you do and what the product is, I think it's more important what happens before, during, and after. That's the most important thing, you know, I don't care that only 20 people showed up, what I care about that I called 150 people, I invited them, you know, I texted them before. I sent them, you know, and it's thank you for coming for, we miss you.
it's not about the pie.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's about the fact that you called them and asked them. It's not about the pie. By the way, if you plan it right, you know exactly how many pies you need to buy. You made 1,000 contacts, you need 200 pies. Awesome. You made 1,000 contacts. So,
But I think it all comes down to a very personal touch at times, you know, it was like a dog treat. I remember contacting for sale by owner. And I actually had clients for sale by owner. You know, and as it has by, I saw pets in her yard.
Mhm.
You know, and so she called me back, you know, said, I do have clients who are interested to see, you know, your home.
Yep.
And as they called, you know, as she called back, you know, I scheduled that.
no, you don't get to hang your one.
So. As she called,
There are seats.
yeah, as she called back and I scheduled my appointment. I made sure I showed up with doggy treats, you know, I didn't know that they were the ones. But I knew that she had like 3 dogs in her backyard.
Mhm.
So I did, you know, with my on the doggy treats and everything, you know, and for her, we got nobody to do it, you know, so it's about something,
It's the little things.
little things.
So, you guys all familiar with Seth Godin? If you're not familiar with Seth Godin, start podcasting and listen to him. One of his best quotes, people like us do business like this. You figure out who your us is, put yourself in that us. And as you're talking to them, you're gonna realize that there's a trend on how they like to work. And guess what? It's exactly how you like to work. Which will make your life a lot easier, right? I mean, how cool would it be to make $500,000 and 9 to 5 in real estate? Would anybody complain about that? Okay, good. So you're paying attention. I love it. Catherine, read the slide, please.
It's not about expanding your reach, it's about dialing in on a niche.
Or niche, depends, you know,
Whichever you want to say.
niche, whatever. It's about dialing in, about becoming laser focused. And I can tell you, it truly only takes one person to open that box up.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. We have a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you know, your funnels like this, and it's you put all these different ideas on the top. And it's what comes up out at the very bottom is
Mhm.
where you need this.
Yep.
But you're just
And
garbage in the good stuff, not garbage in garbage out.
I get really geeky when it comes to things like physics, and you got a funnel, and sometimes you put stuff in, it doesn't come out.
Right.
You have to put a lot of weight on the top of the funnel to get whatever that thing's clogging out of the way. You're always gonna have to put stuff on the top of the funnel. So this is not about the brand. It's not about any of that. It's about finding out who you want to be face to face with every day. Sometimes those conversations are gonna be really pleasurable, sometimes they're gonna be really painful. But who do you wanna be in front of every single day, day in and day out? And what will that do for your life? So to recap, go small. First agent out of the deck. 30 people to get her to $500,000. All single ladies with kids in high stress professional jobs. Strategically connect. Guess what? There's already existing groups and organizations built around what you like to do. Just go join them. Nick's gonna join 3 gyms. Right.
But you know what? You see,
Or maybe
it's
Nick's gonna own a gym.
But you know, what's his name, the New Yorker, Ryan?
Ryan Thurman.
Okay, when he first started, he went to the agent and he said, can I help you for free?
Mhm.
What?
He said no.
No, not for free. He did say yes, because no, he was willing to learn from the top agent, completely free, and do all the due diligence. And he said, what else I did, I signed up to like 8 gyms around me.
Yep.
You know, and the gym at the time was like $20 each. And he says, I purposely went to everybody to make a connection. That was his start.
Yep. So that's a $2,000 a year marketing budget, 8 gyms, $160 a month, $2,000 a year. Approximately marketing budget. Now look where it is.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Mhm.
Not bad. That is exactly it. Go small to go deep. Go deep, organize your own micro events and seminars. We came up with a great one that helps another agent in the office. Find, if you happen to be into cocktails and cigars, have events down at the Bull Cigar Shop. Bring in a mixologist. Have it set just for your clients. Start. And then you talk to JB and say, hey, you know, maybe we do this, and this can be an event once a month. And now you've got a great feeder system going, right? Be consistent. Admit it. How many were like, oh my God, 96 touches, I can't do that. Admit it. Come on, interact, guys. Were you excited about 96 touches? No, was it easy after seeing how to do it?
It's easier and seeing the plan.
Yeah, well, you can get more details on it. It's 36 of them are already done for you.
It's, as you say, it's focusing on what it is and digging into it.
Mhm.
So for me, it's the beginning of the year, it's time to do that,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, you know, to your point about Christmas, you know, very good advice I heard, which I kind of start following and follow track every single year. You know, but buying the Christmas cards, or, you know, Easter cards and all of that, you know, the beginning of the year, they usually
Mhm.
fail. And then every closing you have, you write the card up, you write the card and you put it in your Christmas card.
Yep.
December comes, you don't have to run
It's done.
crazy, you know,
It's done.
yes, you know, same like with Easter, all of that, and with the anniversary, so 3 cards to write after closing.
Yep.
How difficult is that? So easy, you know, and it's already done.
Yeah, I bet you December 27th, you can go on Amazon and get Christmas cards really cheap.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great idea.
I like that.
So when we get to ahas, that somebody better say that, because that is a huge aha. 3 cards
Or more.
or 4, add their birthday.
Exactly, birthday or anniversary,
Yep.
if you remember those. But, you know, house anniversary, Easter, you know, could be Thanksgiving, could be Christmas, whatever you choose to, but the day of closing is easy.
Mhm.
Do it. That's a great idea.
Speaking of ahas,
There you go.
There it is.
there's one. All right, B, you're teaching next time. What else do you got?
My coaching.
It's a great idea.
Got it.
I'm new here, but I have an idea, something I implemented from another agent in Nashville. And by the way, I'm Lynn Pace, I'm from the former office.
We can see that on the. Maybe Jacksonville.
That's it, but one of the agents that I bought a house with in Tennessee for my husband's birthday, they sent him a birthday card and it was the agents with a candle and it was a picture. And it used to happy birthday and then him wrote behind there. Well, guess who stole that idea? Me. So I include my kids in all of my marketing. And, you know, we're a husband and wife team, and now I have my kids in the picture, and we took a picture with like confetti. I don't even know what it was. And we ordered like 250 from Vistaprint, it was like $60. And now started sending those, and on the back, I just say, happy birthday, we're thinking about you from the whole team, whatever, and send them out. And we just started doing that last week. And I probably sent about 6 last week. I got 4 text messages that the picture was so cute. Thank you for thinking of us. blah, 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 and that was like super cheap.
So what we do, we're very similar. I also order the cards, again, I do it so correctly and then fall off track for some reason, I don't know why. But same thing, order the cards, and right throughout, this year, we also did, ornaments with their home for the buyers.
Mhm.
It went a long way, everybody sent that ornament on the Christmas tree, every single one that we sent out was like, oh my God, this is so thoughtful, it's their home, the date, they're probably gonna keep that for a while.
If you were to send one to my house, my wife would list our house with you.
Well, so I will do that. I will do that. And one more thing that we do it as a team a lot, we, at the closing, we sign up for this VAP program, and it's just a, program on the, online. So that's where you don't have to think a lot.
Mhm.
That's a program that they choose what they would like to receive once a quarter. And it would be, different things. It could be a food basket, it could be popcorn, beer, wine, and chocolates, and every quarter they would be receiving it. Which is also great, because then you don't have to think.
Another touch.
It's a great touch, yeah, and it's a closing gift. As a closing gift, they go out, and then you don't have to think that every single quarter, you receive a text from them.
Yep, it's awesome. Love that. Other things, takeaways, guys. I'm gonna call on Karen if no one else speaks up. She gotta have something, she wrote something.
Yeah, I thought that was great idea with cards and everything.
Cards are great.
We can get money out of bonds and, do them as we go. I think that's great.
How many people have gotten a video text from somebody on their birthday? Simple,
That's a great idea.
doesn't cost anything. Guess what? When you open up Facebook, their birthdays are there, you don't even need to put them in your calendar. It's already there.
And if you don't have their cell phone, you can do it on Messenger, or
Yeah.
Facebook.
Birthday is great, but the video text in general is great.
Mhm.
Because about have a text message that you haven't opened. Basically, we open all the email, we just select it, delete.
Yep.
The text messages we open. And this morning, I heard, from one agent that they, give us text messages for communication.
Mhm.
And he says, open, response rate is like 89%. It's not 100%,
Mhm.
but 89% is great.
Yeah.
And they do eventually get back to you. All right,
I have a better one. I mean, none of it's that, but so, and I think I learned this from one meeting or something. Somebody said birthdays are great, but how many text messages and how many happy birthdays you get on Facebook on the day of your birthday? Like 1,000. Like I go through them and just like thanks, I don't pay attention. How about you a week before their birthday? Send them the video message saying, hey, I saw your birthday is coming. Do you have any plans? Happy birthday, whatever.
Yep.
My admin just, she does that, and I get so many random conversations, I forget. I'm like, and then I pick up from there, because obviously now is me engaging, like, oh yeah, what do you got? Oh, you're going to Carolina, great, I can't wait to see you, actually engaged, because when we're doing it on the day of their birthday, we were just getting the things that they're going through their clouds and messages, so it was not really making a connection.
yeah, the Facebook connector was text, do it on Facebook, we can do it by text message, instead of video text message.
That's it.
So, yeah, Facebook message is like the same thing on 97, yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, the timing of the message for the exposure. Yeah, so your.
And my message says something like, my message says something like, I want to be the first one to wish you a happy birthday, whatever. And they're like, you're literally the first one, other than my husband or something like that,
Yeah,
because I did it like a week before.
It doesn't take an awful lot of planning. Do that.
Yeah, you can do it for the moment. I see their birthdays on Facebook tomorrow, you
Yeah.
get that list of whose birthdays are coming up for this week, okay, the month.
Who receives every single year, I've had the notes from David Oliver. Who knows?
Oh, I know, yeah, I get one every year.
Every single year, and it's not on a birthday, it's usually the beginning of the month,
Yep.
because he probably sends it out for that
Yep.
month. I don't know who writes it.
Yeah.
But now, my birthday is approaching, I'm already waiting for that card. Always,
That's the consistency factor.
Here's the thing, if you do something once or twice for somebody. And then never do it again. And then you come back and you do something else once or twice to the same person, then never do it again. Where did it start to think after a while?
They forgot about me. They don't love me anymore.
He wants something.
So they closed in August and I send them messages that the comment was made, we're not going to talk to you every day. Oh, can it? But you know, the time has gone by and I send that text message once a month. Hey, I hope you guys are still okay. Haven't heard from you. She sent me a note this morning, which I put it in. I was like, absolutely.
So real world example of how powerful relationships are. Okay. I was working with, actually with my favorite client to buy a business that was having their residential property foreclosed on. Crazy complicated. And the outstanding mortgage was about $3 million. The property was worth about 4.5. So I spent 6 months in discussions and negotiations with the attorney that was foreclosing. But I want the listing to done all this work, so we're not gonna buy it because we're getting too close. And the margin isn't there for us. You know, I can't recommend somebody to spend $3.1 million on a mortgage to foreclose on somebody, and then it maybe sell for 4.5 million. That's an awful lot of money to risk. So, well, I've got a really good relationship with an agent that lives in that neighborhood. The neighborhood happens to be Pine Ridge, right across the street. And he listed with the agent in Pine Ridge in May. $6.2 million. It closed yesterday. 4.19. So the moral, there's a couple morals of the story. First of all, relationships do matter. I was right. I don't feel good about being right. There's $120,000 not in my bank account because I was right. Okay. The relationship got the relationship and somebody suggesting that they put it on the market for 37% more than it was worth. So relationships do matter. You will get something that somebody else deserves because you're in a good relationship with that client. Guess what, the reverse is true. If you're not in a good relationship with your client, you're not in the best. If there's an agent with a better relationship with your client, guess who's getting the business?
Yeah.
So if you want to spend your time hunting down people that are in a bad relationship with somebody, if you ever dated somebody just after a divorce, you know what, you don't want to go down that road. So do you want to hunt them down, or do you want to just go ahead and go back to the 60s, man? Big love fest, everybody gets along and it was awesome. It's way easier. Just spend your time doing that, building consistency and developing genuine relationships. Go to the dog park. Talk about growing your own food. Go to happy hour, make $1 million. That's all I got.
Jacksonville, like,